Alone in the Dark is a creature horror movie. The movie starts with these 20 orphans, some shady shit's happening, and they all disappear. Well, they all come back, and one of the children in particular is traumatized or something. He got like electrocuted or some shit, which plays a pivotal role in the future. Fast forward, everybody's an adult now from that orphanage, and the one main character, he basically follows paranormal activity and he tries to just fight evil because he is convinced that there's just things people can't see, and they're finding all these artifacts basically of this ancient tribe of people that just vanished. And yes, he is just deeply into the paranormal activity. And yeah, he just goes around finding these artifacts and getting chased by these people. And it seems like there's this special force of like policemen, and basically they know about the shenanigans of the paranormal too. And this guy used to be a part of their squad, but now he's not. Regardless, they end up finding one of the pieces that's super important to this puzzle, and then that's when the main bad guy decides to act. He's like, oh shit, so close. And yeah, he ends up finding this chest, the bad guy. And the chest basically, when it gets opened, activates a bunch of these orphans into like these mindless killers. And yeah, basically opening that box was like opening Pandora's box, just no bueno. And it turns out there's these little, I don't know what you would call them, like alien snake things on people's spines that give them like superhuman strength, but you lose your humanity. And our main character, the one orphan, when he was electrocuted, basically it killed that snake in him, but he still has the snake in him, alien snake. Whatever. Nonetheless, they find all the pieces and they create this key and unlock this door. And that door leads to all these shadow creatures that can turn invisible. And it's just chaotic. This movie's kind of chaotic, and I'll get into that in the review. And that's about the movie. There was some spoilers in there, but nonetheless, good guy fights bad guy to save the world from evil, dog-like creature, monster entities. I don't know. So, my review to Alone in the Dark, and this is a video game adaptation, and it's a video game I haven't played, which is crazy because I swore I've played Alone in the Dark, and then I looked it up and I'm like, I've never played Alone in the Dark. So I really didn't get any of the references, which is never bad. It's whatever. This movie was just, it suffered from one thing, and this is the big thing. This is why this movie never went forward like your Resident Evils or some of these other video game adaptations, and it's 100% because of the acting. Christian Slater was not the best choice for this role. Don't mind Slater, but his acting in this movie wasn't good at all. I mean, really didn't bring anything to this character. It was sad. It was hard not to see that the whole movie. But what was even worse than his acting was Tara Reid's. And I have no issue with these people as actors and actresses. You could just tell in this movie that they were not even trying, as like some of the other side characters would come out and be acting their asses off because you know that shit's important to them because they're not big names. And then you have these two, Slater and Reid, just not acting good at all. Their acting was pretty bad, honestly. If you just switch them with maybe bigger stars that wanted it more, probably would have actually had a really good movie here. Because some of the like effects and practical effects was really good. Like the practical effects got a lot better near the end. Like with the one girl with her head split open, that was pretty good. And then like when they were in that shootout and everything was like flashing black, uh, that was pretty sweet. That was some pretty nice stuff. In a movie that wasn't really that good, they like turn it up near the end a little bit. But yeah, the main takeaway was just the acting was so bad. Now Rotten Tomatoes rated this the lowest I've ever seen them rate a movie. I think audience gave it 11, but Rotten Tomatoes themselves gave it a 1%. A 1%. The main reason I watched this movie was because of that. Like I have to watch a movie that's the worst movie I've ever seen on the rating scale. So, but this movie's not that bad. Honestly, if you had just replaced them, Tara Reid and Christian Slater, this movie 100% would have did so much better. They honestly let like this movie down, but that's also the director not telling them to pick their shit up and like directing them to act right. Like, so I mean, it's just not their fault, but definitely as the leads in the movie and the people who were supposed to like make this movie, I mean, I don't know why you would get. It had to have been a money thing because these are just kind of like super B-rated actors and actresses to me. So, nonetheless, the writing wasn't bad. I mean, it's based off a video game, but I've never played the video game, so that's about it, man. Movie honestly wasn't that bad, to be honest. There was some kind of cool stuff in it, but yeah, just that acting was horrific. So, and my recommendation for Alone in the Dark, and I would kind of recommend this, is definitely nowhere near a 1%. I've seen literally way, 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 way worse movies, and I've seen a bunch of worse movies, so this isn't nowhere on that list, man. They definitely went hard on the ratings in this movie for some reason, but yeah, it's still not good, but not a 1%.